In this video, we're going to explore more in topic 2.8 related to the use of wrapper classes, specifically integer and double, and how auto boxing and boxing helps us seamlessly work with data in Java. Let's get started. What we're going to be learning relates to variable 1F learning objective, specifically the metadata provided in the essential knowledge statements 4 through 7. Autoboxing converts primitive types to become their corresponding object wrapper class reference type. Unboxing is the reverse process, and the compiler takes care of this for us. We're going to look at an example using boxes and some ovals of data. So what I have provided for you here are some boxes for the wrapper classes. Notice they all begin with capital letters, as a class should. And in the ovals, I have some primitive data. These wrapper classes that I've provided on the right-hand side that have the asterisk by them are not required as a part of the Java subset for the Computer Science A course. You do need to know, though, that every primitive data type has a corresponding wrapper class. So these ovals in red represent int data that we could declare as a variable. If we needed to use that data as an object, or to create an object, or to use it perhaps in Unit 7 in an array list, we need that to be a capital integer. So we could take these items and put them in, or auto box them. Java would do that for us. If we had some double object reference data type, and needed them to be a primitive once again, we can unbox them or take them out. And you're going to see this in Java code later in the video, but I like to provide this example of boxes to do auto boxing and unboxing so that we can just mentally make that reference as we think about what Java's doing for us. Auto boxing and unboxing is handled seamlessly by the compiler, but it's always nice to kind of know what's going on under the hood. So we're going to look at that a couple of ways in this video. Let's review main concepts related to this topic. First of all, remember from Unit 1 that primitive data types store only a single value. Examples would be the int, the double with a little d, and a Boolean. Reference types store references. Examples would be string that you've used in Unit 2, and array list that I mentioned you'll be doing lots of work with in Unit 7. In Java, the wrapper classes are used to convert these primitive types into reference types. Java 5 added autoboxing as an automatic process that makes it kind of quick and easy and seamless for the programmer to use both types of information in our program statements. Autoboxing, the definition as provided in your course and exam description, is the automatic conversion that the Java compiler makes between the primitive type and their corresponding object wrapper class. Unboxing is the automatic conversion that the compiler makes from the wrapper class to the primitive type. So we can go into the box or we can come out of the box, and is accomplished without the use of the constructor, having to call the constructor, as you see in bullet point number 4. Let's look at these concepts now in Java program code. In this program example, we're looking at autoboxing and unboxing using the integer class and with int primitive types. Notice first on line number 8 of the program code, I declare an int variable named num and give it a value of 157. Line number 9, I use the integer capital I constructor to create an object named num1. Line number 10, I use the capital I integer, and autoboxing to create the integer num object. Unboxing is shown on lines 15 and 18 of this program code. Looking first at line 15, you see that I created a primitive int named unnum1, going up and referencing the value that would be from the num1 object. On line number 18, I declare a primitive int named sum and use arithmetic or an arithmetic expression to allow us to compute the total of one primitive object, and unboxing allows us to grab the values from the num1 and the integer num, which of course are both integer objects. The next example, similarly, is done with the double class. Line 8, 9, and 10 provide 3 different ways to declare a primitive type on line 8 and 2 objects on line 9 and 10. You can see that on line 10, I used autoboxing to again create an object, this time named score2. And then in this example, I used unboxing on line 15 so that I could compute a mean or an average score of the 3 different values represented for score, score1, and score2. Score1 and score2, of course, as you know, are reference object types, and regular score from line 8 is a primitive. So unboxing allows us to do that arithmetic by making them all doubles with a little d. Now we're going to trace code in Java. All right, so what you're looking at is the Java code from one of the previous slides related to the integer class. And same thing that you saw, line 8, 9, 10 are where we have, declarations, and then we have some unboxing happening. What I want to show you is something that Mr. Schultz recently showed to me. You know him from videos in Unit 1, is I can grab my code. This is the JGrasp, kind of lightweight Java editor, and it is intended to allow us to graphically represent algorithms and systems and processes. So I can copy my code, come to the Interactions tab in JGrasp, and paste my code. And I'm going to just come to the end of this first line and hit Enter, which will do 2 things. It runs my code, which allows you to see this output happening at the bottom of the right-hand side of the screen, but it also over here in the Interactions tab shows us kind of what's happening under the hood in Java. Similar to what I showed you a little while ago with the boxes, we can now see digitally what the compiler has done. So we see that if I use my mouse, line 8, where I declare that int num, that's the first thing that happened, and we see the value and we see the data type here. And then we see num1 from line 9, we see the value, but notice this has a lot more. We see the package that's associated, we see that it is an integer, and I can choose this key, or it looks like a key to me, and lots of metadata about this object, because remember, it's not a primitive. This is a reference type. So we have that for num1, and then integer num, line 10, we see the same thing. And then you can see here we have an unboxed and what the value was and what the sum was. So interesting way to use that. We can do, of course, the same thing for our double code, but I think you'll get the idea. So try JGrasp, try looking or investigating. Maybe you use a different editor and you can see if that editor provides a similar feature for you. But I thought it was a good thing to know as you begin this course, to kind of know some ways to look around and see what's really happening with your program code. So now let's consider what we want to take away from today. Autoboxing and unboxing are related to wrapper class use in Java. Autoboxing, remember, is the automatic conversion that the compiler will make to take a primitive data type and convert it to its corresponding object wrapper class. Unboxing is the reverse process. Both of these allow us to create cleaner code. They're simple to use because a lot of the work is taken care of for us. It is accomplished by the compiler, so it's not something you're going to have to really worry about, but you do need to know about these things as you're using them. You will see wrapper class use again in Unit 7, and I wish you all the best in learning Java.